Hey guys, this is Daniel from the blue corner,
And John from the red corner.
and today we're going to talk about the games that I've played from my collection in the month of October. Nope, September.
No, September, yep.
So yeah, I made a goal this year to play through all of my games, about 370, and if I don't play through them, I'm going to get rid of them.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
the goal. That's what you're going to say now?
That's what I'm saying
Okay.
now.
Wow.
I did a big purge.
It's going to end
but,
up being like 20% of your games.
it might be. It could be. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if
All right.
I stick to this commitment or not.
Okay,
But,
yeah.
But all right, well, we were going to get to it here and talk about what games I played from my collection. So this is not an inclusive list. This is not the games that John had played, though he might have played them with me.
I might have played some.
Yeah, so, but here we go. Our first one is, Comic Hunters. This one was a mistake. This one actually should have been on the previous month. But
I was wondering that when we made last month's.
Yeah, I just forgot it. It was in the bottom of the pile, and yeah, but anyways, Comic Hunters, guys. This game is fantastic. It is a drafting game that utilizes 4 different draft systems. So I kind of been comparing it to Modern Art, but for drafting.
Okay.
Modern Art has a bunch of different auctioning
Yeah.
systems in it. This one has a bunch of different drafting systems, and it's Marvel Comics,
Yeah,
so it's also
true.
great there. So this one was a very pleasant surprise. It came all the way from Brazil. My friend Ryan Evans actually hunted down a copy for me and got it sent up here. Pretty amazing. But this is going to be a play. I would play this every day, every night right now. Like I'm
Wow, really?
Yes,
That much?
not just
Holy
because of the
cow.
Marvel theme. It's good. What do you think of
Okay,
it?
well, first of all, it's kind of ironic because I was actually working through my own channels to try to get Daniel and I each a copy of this game. I had a connection down in, where's it from again?
Brazil.
Brazil. I had my Brazilian connection going, and it sounded like things were going well, and things started falling apart, and then all of a sudden Daniel ends up with this game. I'm like, what? What is this?
I mean, it was an amazing gift,
Wow,
or else
yeah.
I would have told John, like,
Yeah.
hey, I got a
Yeah.
connection. But
That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
But yes, the game itself is very good. And even though it is very good, it has some great drafting elements to it, and it's for what it does. It's just the right length, I think, of a game too, because
Yes, it
it's
is
not the
perfect
deepest
length.
game in the world. So when you have your little strategy you're trying for, and then it's over, and you see how you did. But I'm sorry, if it wasn't the Marvel themed, I would not be nearly as excited about this game.
no
Not
way.
nearly
You only
as
played
excited.
it once, though.
True,
We gotta
but-
play it again.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think you had a
if
bad
it was,
first experience.
you can think of other
Whoever
things
taught
though
you the
that you
game
might.
was horrible.
Yeah. But to me, I compare it to the game I sold recently, Vinyl, where you're making
okay.
collections of record albums. Where that game falls short is you can kind of see the parodies of the albums with the real albums,
sure.
and some of them you're like, is this really a parody? They just throw somebody's picture on an album, But in the expansions of that, you could tell it was parodies. But with this, it's all real covers. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what really makes the game to me.
That's right. And if you want to see how I upgraded this game, you
Yes.
need to go check it
Yes,
out.
you do.
I posted the video there. So, but what is it for you, John? Play,
Oh, it's a
shelf, or
play,
trade?
definitely a play.
Play. Oh,
Yeah.
even though you said it was garbage, despite
No,
the theme.
I said the theme. It's 50% of it to me is the theme, but that makes it a play.
All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. Next one is Key to the Kingdom. This is one that's geared towards kids. It's a restoration game, so it was an old game. They brought
Gotcha.
it back to life, and this was a lot of fun. It was kind of an adventure game. What's the gimmick of this game, and what makes it really cool, is that when you trigger a specific event, the board actually folds over. Yeah, and if you're in the little portal, the board will land on top of you, and you're fine. And you're
What
in
if
a new
you're
room.
not in the little portal?
Then you
what
die.
happens?
No, there's
Sounds like a good kids game.
The old one, it was. You had 2 turns to get to the portal, or you out of the game. But Restoration Games made player elimination not a thing, and
gotcha.
they've jazzed it up a little bit to where it wasn't
Okay.
as punishing.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of story based in this game. Like you will be collecting 3 different keys,
Gotcha.
and when you go to the key, you actually will progress through the story from the storybook. It's a really cool kids game.
Okay.
I do want to play it with an adult though, just to kind of see how
Really?
it does hold up, because I don't think it's horrible. Like as far as like it as an adult game, I think some adults would enjoy this. Super light, and it could just be a fun beer pretzel type of game. Have you heard that term before? You kind of looked at
I
me
have not,
weird.
no.
Okay, it just means like just a
I
throwaway
assume,
game. You're
yeah,
just laughing
casual,
and just don't
yeah,
really care. So,
gotcha.
but for me, I'm gonna say it was a shelf. I don't
figured
see
you'd
it.
say that.
I don't see it leaving my collection for quite a while. I'm not anxious to play it again, but I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I may. You know what? I'm changing it. It's a play.
It's a play.
It's a play.
Oh, I'm downrating it to shelf on my
That's right.
side. Sorry.
Okay.
Or, no, I'm sorry. Trade on my side.
Okay.
I don't have any kids that would be interested in it. And if I have adults over, I'm not going to play this game.
No, I don't blame you. No, that's good. All right, welcome to this one of your favorites, right?
That is one of my favorites. Of all the verb and verbs, which is an
Verb.
around the board original.
That's right.
Because
Verb and verb.
there's flip and fills, there's flip and rights, there's roll and rights, what? Just verb and verb.
Verb
You do
and
this,
verb.
you do that. Of all those, to me, still Welcome to is numero uno, and it's really not even close. So, and then especially when you throw in the expansions, and I love how, unlike in some, not all, but unlike in some verb and verbs, there's really a way everybody's moving to win. I mean, everybody has to do this, everybody has to do that. There's nothing everybody has to do in Welcome to. And that's what's so cool about playing so many players, too. I played up to like 12 people playing Welcome to before. And, yeah, everybody's doing different things. And that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and the expansions, too, are very thematic. We do the Christmas one. It's almost going to be time for the
There
Christmas
you
one
go.
soon, where you're stringing Christmas lights. And so you can get kind of caught up in that and be like, well, do I want to go for the lights? Because it's cool. This is why we're playing the Christmas theme, but then it might cost you points somewhere else. So it's love, Welcome to. It's always a play in my book.
Yes, it's a play for me as well. It is one of my two favorite verb and verbs. My other one being cartographers. I do rate that one higher than this.
I know that.
Largely because my wife is not a big fan of numbers and she likes the shapes better.
Gotcha.
So she would be more willing to play cartographers, and she always beats me by 1 point, which is a bitter subject.
That's you don't just do that to keep her playing?
No,
Okay.
even if I could, to be beat by 1 point consistently
would be pretty tough.
like I think I would have that as an accomplishment of like
Yes.
I was able to figure out
Yes.
the game to where I can lose by 1 point every time. It doesn't mean she wins. It just means she beats me by 1 point. It's quite the thing, though.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Roll and Write's great. Sorry, Roll and Write. Roll and Writes are great, but Welcome to is even better.
There you go.
All right. So next one is Dead Man's Draw.
Dead Man's Draw.
This one is a push your luck game. This is
You must love it then.
Oh, I
Daniel's
love
a huge
it.
fan of push
I
your luck.
love it. No, I hate push your luck, and this is in the ballpark that would be an appropriate amount of push your luck for me.
Yeah.
Because it plays in like 10 minutes.
Oh, for real?
So
Okay,
yeah,
it's a little filler game.
Oh yeah, super filler. But the problem is, it's still going to be a trade for me. We played it wrong the first time, and the game was garbage when we played it wrong. But when we played it right the second time, we're like, okay, this is better. But I don't see myself ever playing this again.
Really?
You just you're flipping the card, and if it's if you get the same symbol twice, you bust. But each symbol has a different power.
Gotcha.
So like some will be like an anchor, where now if you bust, you get that card and everything before it. Some will be like a key and a treasure chest. So if you get the key and the treasure chest, you get like extra points.
Gotcha.
And then there's suits. So like it goes from 2 to 9, and you might be able to like, and then you score your highest of each of the cards. So now you might have a cannon that you flipped over and you destroy my card. So one of the cool things about it is that you are actually resolving the card flip as you do it. So even if you bust, you still got to do things, but by staying, you get to take all the cards into your possession, and then that's what actually gives you the points.
Okay.
So it was fine, but trade for me. What about you?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound too bad. What you say for a little filler game? I'd put it on my shelf. I mean,
All right.
we'll shelf it for now.
All right, well there you go.
I like the theme. The box looks really cool. So
Yeah, it's worth playing. Maybe I'll bring
there
it
you
to
go.
next before I get rid of it. Maybe I'll let some of my
There you
friends
go.
play it before I just get rid of it. So, all right.
Oh, our second in the Keyflower series coming up. We had Key to the Kingdom. Now we have.
Keyflower.
Keyflower.
Yeah, not quite the
That's
same.
That's not the same series.
No,
Oh,
not quite.
I
This
thought it
one's a little bit heavier
Okay.
than Key to the Kingdom. So, Keyflower is an auction game with very unique auction mechanics where you're using colored meeples to bid on which tile you want to take, and also you can play on the tile with that same color. But everyone's collectively playing on those center tiles until the end of the season, where if you essentially bid the highest, you get to put that in your own tableau. Well, then you can start playing on people's tableaus. And if they play on your tableau, you actually get to keep their meeples, like money essentially, and you put it behind your screen. It's a really cool auction engine building game. It is definitely a top 10 game for me.
Wow.
I really, really love it. So it's definitely a play. I would play this anytime anybody asks. And it plays to 6 phenomenally well.
Really?
It does.
Okay.
And it doesn't drag out the game much longer
All right.
because each turn is a really quick, like I just put my meeple here, I just put my meeple here.
True.
And the more people you have, the more time you actually get to think about your turn.
Yeah.
So on the rare occasion that somebody takes your move, it's really easy to adapt because you always have like a second move. So
Gotcha.
no, I really love it. And what about you, John? You've played it before,
I've
right?
played Keyflower one time, and you'll notice Daniel didn't mention on the picture of the box. There's a ship, and there's all this stuff going on. Didn't mention any of that because there's no theme in this game whatsoever.
Whatever, you're building your city.
Completely themeless game. It's all about, like you were saying, the bidding and the acquiring
Yeah.
of these meeples and having them, and nobody knows how many you have, and so you can outbid them and stuff. and I won the only time I played, and I played
So
against.
you love it.
So I should love it, I guess. I don't know, but I also want to retire from it undefeated. So I think it's going to be a trade for me. It was a good game, but I don't know. I had a fun time playing it, but it's nothing I really want to play again.
Yeah, I get it. It's not for everybody, I suppose. Not everybody has good taste.
It's exactly.
So, all right, the next one is Tiny Towns. Speaking of another verb and verb game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
It really is. One person picks a color and everybody has to place it on their board.
It's a pick and place.
It's a pick and place.
There you go.
Yeah, these are just verb and verbs,
Just
guys.
making them
That's
up
all
as
it
we
is.
go.
But yeah, this is one of my favorites along the lines of cartographers. I do like cartographers better, but you're dealing with a 9x9 or a 4x4 grid, and you're trying to make little.
Yeah, it is 4x4.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
It's a small grid. You're trying to
4x4.
make shapes. Once you bake the shape, you get to replace the shape with a single building. So as you build, your town gets smaller and smaller and smaller. This is a game I've seen people lose by like negative 10 points.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is a lot of fun to see.
There's a way you can do that. Yeah,
But,
at CantCon one year, one of our conventions.
This is play
here.
for me. Just want to.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
It's a
CantCon.
play for me as well.
Yeah.
Just to cut to the chase, but. It's I've one of those people that have scored negative points before because there's certain things that you can go for and it's like, oh, but if I can achieve this, it's going to be 25 points just for these, but if you don't make it, it's negative points, and that's what happened to me. But it's like, what the heck? If there's a time to try it, I'm going to try it now.
There you go.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, and that's a good way to lose, as opposed to some people who like it's just because they didn't fill up half their board.
Yeah.
And they're just like, is it possible to fill up your board? While everyone who's filling up their board's like, yeah, don't look at mine. I don't want you to feel too bad about yourself.
Yeah, it's and then. Yeah, but to tell you the truth, one of them a new game that reminds me of that we talked about was that Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Ah, yeah.
And to me, that's does this way better. But I still love Tiny Towns.
Okay.
But I'm not interested in the expansions. What about you? No,
Yeah,
me either.
no.
No, don't.
Yeah,
need
watch our expansions episode to find out how we feel about
There you go.
expansions.
Yep.
We don't like them. Spoiler. Sorry, I was supposed to say spoiler first. All right.
you go.
All right. Next one is a new hotness. Actually, it's not too hot, but
It was the first time we recorded this.
Yes. Okay. So this is First Rat. This was really good. I played this with the Evans and with Chris.
Who
I believe
everybody
it was
knows.
Chris. Everybody knows them, John.
So there you go. You don't even have to say it.
I know.
It's a friend of yours.
That's right.
Just the Evans.
Hey, I'm gonna be shooting out names all the time. I want as many people to know me and know that I know them.
There you go.
So when I meet Tom Vassell,
You can just say I was playing with Tom.
I was playing with Tom.
Yeah.
We go way back. Anyways, First Rat is what Ryan Evans said was that it was gamers, shoots and ladders.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my gosh, you're totally
really what
right.
it's like? Okay.
Yeah, because it's a race to the top. You can do things as you progress up there to like steal your resources and you get shot back down.
Okay.
And then there's little shortcuts and everything. So it definitely is like this race to the top. It's not roll and move, but the movement you get to move is like if you move one guy, you can move 5 spaces, but if you move 2 rats, you can move them 1 to 3 spaces. So it's still
So
very
it's a choose and move.
It's a choose and move. Okay, we can't do this for everything. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was simple fun. It plays under an hour. It has this depth of strategy in there that's a little misleading, I guess, when you first see it, and also when I describe it as gamer shoots and ladders.
Yeah.
But it really does. It gives you some really fun choices. That whole moving 1 rat or moving 2 rats and deciding how much to move each one.
Yeah.
Actually becomes a lot more trickier because when you move 2 rats, they have to land on the same color.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to move 1 rat just so in the future turn you can move 2 rats
Gotcha.
and progress and get more resources. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a play. I'm actually excited to get this to the table. If I wasn't trying to play through my whole collection in a year,
You'd play it again.
I'd be playing this one again.
Okay. Yes, this is one I was interested in before you even got it. Just the theme and the box. I'm like, this looks really cool. This looks like something that if it's done right, it should be a lot of fun. Apparently, it was done right. So
it was done right.
Without further ado, it is a play for me as well. I can't wait to play that one. It sounds like a blast.
Cool. Hey, maybe we'll play it tonight.
Maybe.
We'll see. All right. Next up is Minecraft Builders and Biomes. This game is much better than it has any right to be. And I encourage any of you, if you see this at like your local game store where they have like demos, and to play this. This is actually a good game. You have this tower of cubes like you would mine in Minecraft.
Yes.
And you take as one of your actions, you can take these cubes and then later you combine the cubes to build one of the buildings.
Just
on
like
your
in
little
Minecraft.
just like in Minecraft. Just like in Minecraft. And what you're trying to do is in the first round you're scoring like biomes. The second round you're scoring types of buildings, and then the third round you're doing accessories or whatever. So you might be focused on like these 4 are your hot tokens to start with, but then next round you're going to cover up half of those. So you're always thinking the next turn ahead on how you're going to build your biomes. Anyways, my kids love this game, Brendan specifically, the oldest 9-year-old, and we love to play it with them. And I kind of want to play this with some adults because I really enjoyed it. So this one is a play. This was a play month. I actually really liked a lot of the games
that he played this month.
That's right.
Okay.
Unlike October, which a little spoiler, I got rid of like 10 games this month already. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So, all right, John, what about you?
Well, I can't help but smile during your review of this, just because my oldest son, who was reluctant to play any games, I was trying to talk him into this one because Board Game Jesus had a review on it, and I'm like watching it with him, just knowing it was gonna crack him up. So I'm like, look, see, listen to what he's saying. Yeah. It's just like playing Minecraft. I don't know how many times he says that during the review. It's just like playing Minecraft. You get these. My son Jack's like, it's nothing like playing Minecraft. Are you kidding me? No, I don't want to play this game. And so it's a trade for me. I would have no one to play it with, because if Jack won't play it, my son, who loved Minecraft at the time at least, he moves on to things like that. But it's a no-go for me. Sorry.
I don't think we have to explain this to a lot of our viewers, but when we say a game is just like something else, we know it's abstracted. But when you're a non-gamer, sometimes you are looking for like, this doesn't look like anything like Minecraft. But
how do I build a city with this game? No, you can't
but
build
trust
a
me,
city
as
with
far
this
as board game mechanics and limitations they allow, this is the closest thing you're ever going to get. It is good.
It looks interesting, but it'd be a trade for me.
All right. So next one is going to be Revolution.
Viva la Revolution.
No Viva. It's regular Revolution.
Okay, Revolution.
This one is a classic for me. It's an old stay. It's kind of an area control, and you're bidding on the people of the city, and those people of the city are going to let you have influences in their specific buildings, and they may also give you different kind of resources, whether it's force or blackmail or gold. And it's kind of the force is better than blackmail, and the blackmail is better than gold. Gold is better than nothing.
Yes.
Literally nothing, because if nothing's there, you win.
Then it's nothing. Yep.
But this is a really fun game. It's one of these games that what I enjoy most about a game is when you can get inside your opponent's head and you have to try to figure out what they are going to do so that you can counter it. It's the whole, I know that he put that in my, what's the Sicilian dilemma or whatever?
I'm not a great fool, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. But you must have known I was not a great fool. You would have counted on it, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me.
So that mechanic, it's wonderful. Revolution does it in spades. Again, this is a play for me.
Yes, I think I've only played it twice, and I haven't played it since I've gotten my own copy. So it's going to have to be a play for me, just because there's some other groups that haven't played it that I'd love to take advantage of. Because Daniel smoked me last time, and talk about getting in somebody's head. By the end of the game, this causes some controversy, especially with some of the other players, because you're bidding with all your stuff, and at the end, I think the last 2 rounds, I was doing so bad, I just held them up above my board, and they land where they land, and that's because anything I think of, everybody is just hosing me over.
If he wasn't losing that badly, I would have been offended. But you'll be
it's pretty bad.
But you'll be happy to know that Chris schooled me in this.
Oh,
he
got
got into my head last time we played,
really?
and I couldn't do anything. And the whole time I was complaining, I was like, "Guys, you're not playing the way you're supposed to.
You're supposed to let me win."
I mean, they weren't.
Yes,
but they also stopped me from winning. So maybe they were
the way you're supposed to.
Exactly.
You can't let Daniel win, or no one else will win.
All right,
so it's play for me then.
It's a great one. All right. Let's see here. Next one is Marvel Versus. The official name is the Versus System. No, versus two-player card game.
Oh, okay.
Marvel Battles.
Wow, that's the whole title.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, their marketing
Concise.
was not really good in this game, but this is a remake of an old collectible card game that I used to play back in high school, and was one of my favorites.
Was it Marvel then?
It was Marvel then. It was Marvel then. Yeah.
All right.
It was this great little game, and it had like this front row that you had to worry about, the back row you had to worry about. It had resources that you had to lay down, but it didn't matter if, like in Magic, you have mana, and that's the only thing you could do for resources. Okay. This one, or Pokemon, has energy. This one, you can put any card down you want for energy. that energy essentially. So but it's a really cool game. What you have a primary character, like your main character, and your goal is to kill that main character. But your main character can only take 1 damage per turn, so you don't run into this thing where it's like the game ends really quickly because your opponent overpowered you with their deck and they shot you down in the first round. or it doesn't drag on forever where it goes like 20 rounds and someone's just like, oh my gosh, just put this game out of its misery. It's because that with that only being able to do 1 damage per turn, it kind of has a natural timer on it. Anyways, I love Versus. Marvel theme, so yay for me, but also I think it's one of the better CCGs out there, or LCGs. Obviously, a lot of people don't agree with me because it's ranked pretty low, but I really do think it's a marketing thing. I think they did a very poor job marketing it, but it is a great game that I love a lot. It's definitely a play anytime you ask me, I'll play this one.
Okay. It's actually going to be a trade for me, I think. You haven't convinced me. Any of these that I've tried before, the 2-player, just you know, battle things, whether it's never been something up my alley. Just doesn't do it for me.
All right. Next one is a 2-player game, Curious Cargo. This one was designed.
I'm curious.
Yeah, well, good. I was going to make a cargo pun, but I'm not witty enough. So,
and it worked.
Cargo pun there. So this is a 2-player game from the designers of Pipeline, and this game is pretty much the part of Pipeline where you are building your pipes.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You are. I will say one of the cool things about it, because it's 2 players, one side of the board, you have these trucks that are coming up that you have to load merchandise onto the truck. Well, it gets pushed onto your opponent's board. And their goal is to unload what you just loaded.
Gotcha.
And then you're doing the same thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, it's a really cool spatial awareness puzzle. This was really fun. It's 2 players, so it's a little harder for me to get it to the table. I got it thinking that my wife would really enjoy it. She thought it was fine, but
we've all done that.
Yeah, but I think she didn't enjoy it as much, which means I'm really not going to play this. And even though I do enjoy this game, it is going to be one that I'm going to trade.
Yeah, it's a trade for me as well, just because it's one of those ones that I've seen on sale a few times, and it looks amazing. I love the cover. I love the art. I'm like, oh, this looks like a fun game. Why is it on sale? And you get down, oh, it's a 2-player game. And if my wife's not going to play it, which she wouldn't play this, then I don't have much use for a 2-player game, to be honest with you.
It's really thinky. So it's thinky and the spatial awareness, and those two combined, like, woo, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. But it was a good game, and I recommend anybody who likes 2-player games.
Yeah, I've heard people that really like it.
I think you will like this game if you guys are actually bringing up the Evans again.
Maybe the Evans, who everyone knows.
I think they'll like it. So there we go. All right, next is Fine Sand. This is a Freedom and Freeze game. They call it a fabled game.
Must be a fine game.
It is a very fine game. It is based. So the first game, everybody has the same deck.
First game. How many games do you play in a row?
Like 10.
You really?
Not in a row, but after every
game.
Okay. It's like a legacy game.
Like a legacy game.
But it's not legacy, because all it is you take out some cards.
Tear them up.
Don't tear them up. Take it out, and then you add the next set in. And you kind of just keep cycling through these decks. But what's cool about this game is it's a deck deconstructor. You start with your full deck, and instead of buying cards, you actually are trying to get rid of your cards the entire game.
Gotcha.
And one of the ways to do that is to pass it to your neighbor or to your opponent. And if at some point everybody has something on their little platform that's been passed to them, everybody has to pick it up. So playing 2 players of this was really interesting, because all of a sudden I was Brendan passed 2 to me and I didn't pass any to him. So I'm like, oh great, if I pass 1 to him, I'm gonna have to pick up 3 cards, 4 cards. And the longer I waited, the worse it got. And I was like, oh no. Yeah, so very simple game, like just 2 actions is all you do every turn, and you're just trying to shed cards from your hand. It was pretty enjoyable.
How many does it play up to?
I think it's 4, yeah.
Okay.
And I think 4 would be good too, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a play for me. I do want to play it again.
That sounds like one to put on the shelf for me.
Oh, okay.
I might pull that out in certain groups.
Hey, there you go.
Sounds like a decent little game.
Yeah.
Sure.
John finally likes a game.
Why not? Good enough for a shelf. I haven't had a shelf yet, I don't think.
Oh, speaking of game John's
like. Oh, my.
Tell us all about it.
Now we're talking. City of Spies, baby. I didn't own this until I saw it on Daniel's shelf, and I was like, why you never bring this game out? This is an amazing looking game. The art speaks to me. Gets me right there. That's like the art style I love. This not cartoony, but really bold art style. And it's called City of Spies, Estral 1942, which is apparently a historic thing, that there were a lot of spies in 1942 in Estral, Spain.
No, I think it's Brazil.
No.
Portugal.
Barcelona? No. Barcelona's a city. Anyway, wherever Estral is.
Not America.
Wow. We're awesome, aren't we? Public schools.
I should get my seven-year-old. He'll tell me where it is.
So, anyway,
loves geography.
The cool thing about it is you start with your first 6 spies, which are worth almost no points. I don't think any of them are worth points. But there's points are going to be given out to people who have the most female spies, maybe, or the most hitmen, or whatever. You don't know what the end game scoring is until you start the game, because it can change each game. And so you're with a lot of dilemmas because then you'll win Spies, but you always have to discard down to 6.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, do I want to keep this one that's worth a lot of points, or want to keep this one that'll help me get the majorities? And so that's usually where I fall apart.
Yeah.
I keep the ones that help me with the majorities. And at the end of the game, I'm like, wait a minute, I've only got like 8 points in Spy points. Everyone's got 25. And then it's like, I got to really catch up. And I only win 2 of the 4 I thought I was going to win. So, but it leaves a lot of good decisions for really simple rules to the game.
Very simple.
But the way you apply them makes for a lot of tactical decisions. So play for me, definitely always.
All right. This game, actually, the epiphany I had about it is Fantasy Realms, the board game. Fantasy Realms is like Red Rising.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or
yes.
Marble Remix.
Yeah.
I think you played that one.
But
the whole idea is
instead of building your hand, which you
yeah,
are building your hand.
Yeah,
just doing
in
it a
Marvel
different way.
Fantasy, you have 10 cards. You draw cards, discard cards, and at the end of the game, you score 10 cards, and that's what you do. So this is the exact same thing, except you're utilizing the board and area control. I enjoy it. I'm not excited to play it again. Like I don't want to play it like right this moment, but I'm definitely not going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's a
I even
shelf
have the
for
expansion. You haven't played with the
I
expansion
haven't.
yet.
I need to try
I actually
that.
bought the expansion before I got the game because it was on sale. I'm like, I know I'm going to buy the game.
Is this an expansion that breaks the rule?
It gives you more. It allows for another player.
Okay.
And it gives you more of the
same.
stuff that's already there.
That's what
So it's
expansions
great.
need to be. More of the same. Please. All right. The next one is the Grimm Forest. So this one is a take that game, plays in 30 minutes, super overproduced. I mean,
There's no such thing.
Your player marker is like this big.
What's wrong with that?
And
why isn't it bigger?
It can't be big. Honestly, it can't be bigger. And it has like 8 monsters in here that literally do nothing. Like all it is like, hey, did you have the big bad wolf? Put it on this card. Is your turn over? All right, put it back in the box. It's like, what did it do? It was on that card.
It was on that card.
It's like, okay.
Hey, if you have fun with it, it's not overproduced.
Sure. Well, I did have a mild amount of fun, but not enough for me to keep it. I don't really like take that games, even though it played quick. It had the illusion of that. I know what you're going to play, so I'm going to do this.
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
But you only have 3 choices. You only have 4 locations. You only have 4 locations you can go to.
Okay.
So it always felt like, okay, I think you're going to go here, but I don't know. I have 1 in 4 chances that it's going to be somewhere else. It just wasn't. Yeah. It didn't do what it seemed like it promised.
Gotcha. It is based on the Grimm fairy tales.
It is.
Not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it the darker side of the Grimm fairy tales?
No, they keep it pretty light
okay.
still.
Well, then it's a trade for me.
It's a trade.
Okay. I was hoping it was going to be the, Little Red Robin Hood and Little Robin Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, and she really kills somebody or something, or she's walking around with the wolf's clothes. Skin on her. Or
that's
something.
That's unmatched. If you want that, that's unmatched right there.
So it'll be a trade for me then.
All right, this was actually it's a trade and it has been traded.
Oh well, there you go. Man, that was
quick.
It's
on my shelf still. It's just because the guy's out of town, but he's gonna buy it as soon as he gets back. So
gotcha.
So yeah, already gone. Oh, I just realized I skipped a game here. So let me scoot back in the most important game ever.
Oh gosh.
Seasons. I love Seasons. This is a play for me. It's a top 10 game probably. So it's a engine building game. You draft these cards at the beginning of the game. You decide if you're going to, season 1, you're going to pick up these 3. The next season, you're going to pick up 3 more. Last season, you're going to pick up 3. And you're deciding all that right there at the beginning of the game. You can only play a total of 15 cards. So throughout the game, you're trying to figure out how to get 6 more cards, sometimes more because there's ways to destroy cards. And you're rolling these dice. These dice give you energy. They increase your summoning gauge. But what you're doing is ultimately building this really cool engine building. If you like Magic the Gathering, I really think you'll like this game. It has that same kind of feel where you're really building into something, and once that combo is completed, you're like, yes, I got it. And it's also when I've played with people who really know what they're doing and played it before, this game can get really, really dirty. Like you can go from like skip the entire last round. Not last turn, last round.
Really?
Yes, you can plan it right. And then if you have cards in your hand, you get negative points based on their value. So you're like, you can really tank somebody and just be like, oh, you just picked up 4 cards? I just ended the game. And they're like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
So, no, this is a play for me. I love it.
This is one of those games that I think I'd said in episodes before that how a theme can get me to play a game.
Yeah.
But I can like a game where I don't necessarily care for the theme, but I really have to be talked into it. Nobody's been able to talk me into Seasons yet because Daniel thinks it's beautiful. I think it looks like it was photoshopped, and it doesn't do anything for me. The theme does nothing for me. Apparently, it's pretty much themeless anyway. And even to tell you how bad this is, even during lockdown, when everybody was playing online. Oh, come on, play online. We can play seasons. Sorry, ain't gonna happen. I'll watch the Michael Jackson thing or Michael Jordan thing that's on TV. I'm not playing seasons. It looks terrible. So it is a trade. You already put it on. It's trade.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
it's
I
trade
jumped
for
the
me.
gun. I figured you're lambasting.
All that
of the
being
show.
said, I can't wait to play it. No,
Yeah.
it's a trade, definitely.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where somebody balks at wanting to play it. I won't make them play it because it's a pretty unique game for a very specific person. I think it has a wide appeal to real hardcore gamers, but also gamers that specifically that like card games.
Yeah.
I think you really have to like those card games.
But
Like
I mean,
Magic
like I
and
say,
stuff
I may
that.
like it if I played it, but it's gonna. I can't see me ever playing it.
Maybe. I don't know. Like again, I will never force you to.
There you go.
I will force
Somebody
you
might.
to. Maybe. We'll see. All right, and then now the third game in the Key series.
Ooh, that's right. It was the Key. He played the whole Key series.
That's
This
right,
month.
all of
Very
them.
good.
Are you the key master?
Not that I know of.
No, this is Keyforge. One of my favorite two-player card
order
games.
this.
I don't know. No, obviously not. We've done 3 different
I know, I was
keys.
just like-
Yeah, way off there. No, Keyforge. It's like a collectible card game, but what's really cool is you buy the pre-constructed decks, and there is no deck building at all. But there are different levels of powers on the decks. So sometimes you can buy a really good deck. Sometimes you can buy one that's like meh. But the game has ways to mitigate that. Like you can kind of bid for which deck you're going to use, all that stuff. But this is a game really exciting. In the realm of Magic and Versus, this is maybe my favorite of it. I said Versus was, but this is actually my favorite in that category. And it's because how you win. This one is you have to forge 3 keys, and the way you get the ember for the keys is you have to reap. You tap your cards. So just because I have a lot of monsters on the board, it doesn't mean I can just bomb rush you and win.
Yeah.
It's like I actually have to tap these monsters, and if I have one that's very aggressive, I don't even want to use it to reap, but I guess I have to. So it's always I guess I'll do that.
Do I want to do that? Yeah.
And what's also really cool about this is you have 3 different houses, and you activate one house at a time. And that could be another thing too. I might have like 5 cards on my board, but if 2 of them are from one faction and the others are from different factions, now I can't activate all 5.
Yeah.
So it gives you that really hard choice. But then as your opponent, you can be like, ooh, I see that he has a mixture here. This is his best play. I'm assuming he's going to play this. So now I know I have time to build up my engine because there's no way he can attack my engine.
Yeah.
It's a really clever game. I love it. It's a play. Ask me, and I will play it any day.
I had said earlier when you were talking about the Versus that these are the kind of games that do not appeal to me at all.
Yeah.
And Keyforge is probably the only one I've ever enjoyed, to be honest with you. And it was once again, I was a reluctant player.
Yeah.
It was when it was the new hotness. Daniel's like, "Come on over! I got these packs of Keyforge, and we'll play it." Okay, let's play, and it was fun. And I've played several times since.
Yeah, good.
But it's been a long time, so
Yeah,
it's a
it's
play. I'll go ahead and
Oh
play it
wow!
because it's been a while.
I was expecting a shelf. I was
No, I'll go
hovering
ahead and
over
play
a
it.
shelf.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes
If
my
I
day.
played it recently, it'd probably be a shelf. but-
Gotcha. So you want to play it now? Okay. We got another Verb.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we got Dungeons, Dice, and Danger by Richard Garfield, not Andrew Garfield. I have
No,
been told
I wish it was
2 different people, though I've never seen them in the same room at the same time. So it's
maybe.
still
That's still
up to
be
debate.
proven.
So this is a Verb. You're rolling dice. This one, I wanted to like it more. Brendan liked it, so it's gonna stay on my shelf.
There you go.
But it's gonna leave as soon as it's done.
Okay.
Way too
Wow.
overwhelming. Way too overwhelming. So what you got is I'm gonna roll 5 dice, and now I need to take 2 sets, so I can pair them up however I want. So now I've come up with 2 numbers, but I might have like a total of 6 numbers as my options. Now I'm looking at this board that's literally full of numbers, and I'm trying to say which 2 of those combos can I actually get to, because if you can't, you gotta take a damage.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, so these 2 combos, can I fulfill that? No. Okay, what about these 2 combos? Can I fulfill that? Oh, I can fulfill 1. What about this one? Oh, I can fulfill 1. Wait, what was that first one? Can I fulfill 2?
Wow.
I was just constantly going back over and over and over again. And your whole goal is to like kind of build into the dungeon so that you're next to these monsters. And then when you're next to the monsters, which is the clever part, like if on a roll of a 6, you might be able to hit the monster. But if you enter from one area, you can now, on a roll of a 7, you'll hit the monster. And if you roll from a different angle, if you come in from a different angle, now 10s hit them. And so to every different entry, you increase your odds of hitting the monster. And that was cool. But getting to the monster was like, oh, painful.
I'm going to be completely honest with you here. I feel like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy because while you were talking, I was thinking of other things. So that's like, yep, you lost me a long time ago. So yeah, it's definitely a trade for me.
I lost you on the theme.
I was
sure.
like, halfway through, I'm like, I should probably start listening to what Daniel's saying. He might ask me a question about it. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's a trade for me.
All right. So next one is another Verb.
Oh, isn't this the one based on The Simpsons?
Oh.
Hi, Karuba.
No.
No.
No. This one is
It's a
again,
skateboarding game about
yeah.
Bart.
I got this one to play with my kids and my family. They haven't been thrilled about it. It's going to be a trade for me. But what you're doing is everybody has the exact same tiles. One person draws a tile, and then everybody has to play that tile on their board. You're trying to connect your blue adventurer to the blue temple and the purple to the purple temple. And everybody has the exact same setup, just where you lay things is differently.
Gotcha.
It's clever. It's fun. It's for some people, just not for me.
You've sold it to me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna trade it. I'm just joking. No good. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
if it's not The
just-
Simpsons, I don't want it.
it could kind of use a Simpsons rating.
Maybe it could actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
All right, and we're nearing an end here.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah,
Now we're in your
Gloomhaven,
jam. Now we're in
baby.
your jam.
I love me some Gloomhaven, and I love the fact that Brendan asked to play Gloomhaven.
That's his son.
Yes. Well, I've said his name like 20
I know,
times
but
already,
people,
but
they might
yeah,
have just tuned in.
fair enough. My son Brendan asked to play Gloomhaven, and it is one of the best games out there. I love it. Some people wonder, like, why do you like it so much? Why is it #1 game on Board Game Geek? Listen, it's a dungeon crawl, which is great, but I know that doesn't appeal to everybody. It's probably its only detractor, right? Like, that's the thing that's going to keep most people from it. But I tell you what, the puzzle of Gloomhaven is wonderful. You have, like, let's say, well, you have 10 cards, and you're deciding what pairs to play every turn. You resolve the top, you resolve the bottom. And the villains are very intuitive. You always know exactly what they're going to do. Like, not because they flip from deck too, so you may not know what they can do, but you always know what they can do. Well, then once you go through your deck, you have to rest, which you get rid of a card. And as you progress, you keep getting rid of cards, and those cards are your life. So as the game progresses, you are thinning down your hand size. You're making really hard choices of like, oh, this is a really great card, but this is the card I need for next turn. I have to get rid of my really great card. And you're always making hard choices. And what the best part about this game is it is always down to the wire. And so yeah, it's a play for me. I played through the original Gloomhaven campaign. It's 98 scenarios. We played like 100.
Played through the whole thing?
We played through the whole thing. Wow. I sure did.
That's insane.
And now we're about to play through this 23 scenario one. So, John.
I think you know where I stand on this. It's a dungeon crawl. It's a trade.
You need to play it just so you can rate it a 1
I
on
guess.
Board Game Geek.
But I don't rate anything on Board Game Geek. So,
okay, so
it'd
you're
be the
the-
one thing I rate on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
I don't even have my collection listed on there.
You could be that person. Oh, you need to do that.
How long does that take?
Not that long.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, 370 games.
Yeah.
It takes 1 minute. It's 370 minutes.
That's quite a bit. It takes
Nah,
longer than
you're
that. You'd be sitting there. What do I rate that?
All right. Well, Gloomhaven, one of my favorites. John does not know what he's missing,
May never know.
and he'll never know. All right, Merv, have you played Ragusa?
Oh, that's right. This is the one based on the old talk show, right? The Merv Griffin Show. Do you sit on this? Do you have your little guys that sit on the set and make way for the next guest?
And then they
Ooh,
yell,
how do you
Merv,
make way for the
Merv,
next
Merv,
guest?
Merv.
No, they don't do that.
Oh, they don't do that? Not that kind? Okay.
That would
yes.
be, but that would be a good game.
Yeah,
You
get
gotta,
on
you
it.
gotta,
I think
you gotta book the guests.
Mhm.
You gotta make them move down when they.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd play it.
Yeah,
But no,
I'd
that's
play
not
it
what this
before I
is
played
about.
This probably.
Have you played Ragusa?
I have.
Did you like Ragusa?
I did like Ragusa.
Well, there you go. This game is from the designer of Ragusa. It's his follow-up game. He took a lot of the feel from it. This game, I do want to play again. I didn't feel like I got a good grasp of it the first time, so I'm anxious to play it again to
Okay.
see how I really feel about it. Kind of losing steam here. The what was I going to say about it?
I don't know. The
I don't
fabrics.
remember.
The fabrics
Oh,
that you're selling.
No, this game. Okay, so it had an explanation, and I was like, "All right, I get this game. Completely makes
Oh,
sense."
that's
And then
right.
the guy
Listen.
goes, "Okay, now let me explain the 5 tracks."
Yes.
And that's when my mind melted. I was just like, "Wait, what?" Differently to these 5 tracks, and you're manipulating the 5 tracks to try to utilize those to manipulate like a scoring track. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wow.
It melts in my mind. It's a
Yeah.
simple game, a lot there. Definitely want to play it again.
You've talked me into putting it on my shelf at least.
Okay.
I know it's thematic looking. It probably doesn't have a theme when you play it.
No.
But
It kind of does, because there are the Mongols or something like that are like attacking your city.
okay.
So you have to build walls around the city, and when
Okay.
you have to put guards on the city, and you can protect other people's plot of the city, and you actually get extra victory points because
Nice.
you're more noble
There
for
you go.
protecting somebody else's.
Okay.
But that person actually is angry because by you protecting them, they don't get the points for protecting themselves. So it's like, no, get out of the way. I'll help you. And it's like, no, I got this. No, I got you.
That is pretty funny.
So-
I'd say it sounds like one I might like. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth a shelf.
All right, cool. And then our last game of the day is,
we
talked
mentioned this earlier.
How about that? We actually played
I didn't
this
know it was on your list.
at Meeple-a-thon.
We did,
Yeah, this is a Verb and Verb.
and we both own it.
Oh yeah, that's right. And so we both played it together, which is actually rare nowadays. I feel like we don't play very many games
I
together,
know.
but it's a play for
Not
me.
like the good old days.
So it is, yeah, it's a Verb and Verb. I don't know.
What would you call that?
You-
It is
you
a flip.
you
It's
explain
a
this
flip
one.
in place.
I'm getting tired.
It's a flip in place.
Yeah.
You have everybody has the same map, and there's different goals to try to reach on the map. You can connect cities together. You can fill up areas to make a little settlement. You can try to go out to find lost treasure and ruins and what have you. And there's little terrain on every little space of the board. And so when you flip over these cards, it'll have like move 3 C spaces that are connected. Okay, I'll move through, and then you fill them up with your cubes. Or it might have move into a mountain space, or it might have move into 2 sand spaces. And you know what cards are out there, you just don't know what order they're going to come up. And the cool thing about it is every round you'll get the chance to pick a new card that only you have, and it'll give you a really powerful ability, like, place 5 of these or place 3 of these. And so you're going to take, at least what I did, you take what's going to help you that turn. Like, oh, if I take this now, I can do this, and then I know it's going to come up every other round. I can just plan for it for the next round. And so it gives you your own unique abilities. So you get 3 of your own unique abilities over 4 rounds. In the last round, you get to do all of them, and you get to one of them twice. And so it's, as we looked over our boards at the end of playing it, it was kind of cool. Everybody's is looking completely different because you start out with the same map, but it's like you kind of strike out in a certain direction, and it pays to keep going that direction, is what we found. But you could technically keep going in different directions, but then you wouldn't get out as far and get as many things connected, I don't feel. So, but it makes some really good decisions, and it plays, like I say, a lot in the way of Tiny Towns, in that you flip and you'll have to place, but it's not punishing like Tiny Towns.
Correct.
Like, oh, you can't place it, screw you.
Yeah,
so
that's true. This one is not punishing at all.
Not
it's
punishing.
very wide open.
Very wide open.
In a good way, though.
And I found it very enjoyable. So it's a play for me.
Yeah, and I played the solo too, and I found it very peaceful and enjoyable. I don't play a lot of solo games, but this one I will probably play solo. It was really enjoyable to just sit there and figure out that puzzle.
That's cool.
Well, that's it. That's all we got. So that was it for September. Sorry, we're recording so far into October. I'm like, which month is this?
It's almost Halloween, and we're doing September games. So.
Yeah, since you stuck around to the end, we'll let you know we recorded this once before. But we forgot to turn the mics on. I forgot to turn the mic on, so there's that. So, but anyways, there you go. That's our that's my games that I played this month, and I'm at like 55% of the collection. I don't think I'm going to get to 100.
Yeah,
I think
not
I'm
even close
in
now.
October's even worse. Meeple-a-thon really killed me. I could have had 3 days of gaming, and I had 0 days of gaming.
No, you played Merv.
I played Merv and
But you skipped out on us. Guys, I'm gonna run and play Merv.
Yeah, I did. But I was there more than you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around the board.